You're listening to the Clean Comedy Podcast with your host, James Creviston.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Clean Comedy Podcast. It's James, and today is a solo episode. The reason I wanted to do a solo episode this week is because I just turned 41. I didn't want to say it. Should I say it? Should I say it? I turned 41. You look at me, you can tell I'm 41, but that's actually not the case. A lot of people didn't think I was 41. I had some shows this weekend and where I talked about growing old or whatever. But I wanted to reflect because this is my 7th year of stand-up comedy, performing stand-up. I started basically about a year before my 35th birthday. I did it. So if you don't know my origin story, I started stand-up because I wanted to get something off my bucket list. My wife had said, "Hey, is there something that you want to do that you've never done before?" And I said, "Yeah, I've always wanted to do stand-up." And so I decided I would take a class and do stand-up. I interviewed Steve North, who was my first comedy coach. He gave me tips. You've seen me interview Gene Perrette, who gave me tips for my first writing gig to write for jokes. Paul Moongene, who helped coach me through some of it. David Studebaker, who also helped coach me through the beginning of my stand-up. Robert G. Lee also was a comedy coach of mine. He still is. Both David and Paul also give me tips. Luke LaCroix, who was my first partner on this podcast and also one of the first people that I ever started doing mics with and going places with and doing shows with. You've seen my career here, and now I just did Alaska. I'm going to do Texas in the end of July, so yeah, I will put all the dates and everything and the ticket links in the show notes. So if you're in Texas and you want to come see me and Darren Carter, I'm opening for Darren Carter. We'll be doing San Antonio. You had B. Schmitty, whose club it is. We'll be doing his club, and he was on here. I've talked to so many people. I've documented my journey through people that I've met, through things that have happened in my life and with stand-up, and it's just been amazing. There are times, honestly, where I was like, hey, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I even want to do this anymore. Like, it's been one of those things where it's up and down. Being a stand-up comedian is a roller coaster of emotions. Anyone who's even if they're famous has had the moments of like, man, should I quit? Like, there's been those moments. Everyone has those moments, and it's the people that persevere that go above and beyond, that grow, that do the things they're supposed to, that move on, that are getting booked on shows, that are traveling the country, all that stuff. That's what I'm lucky enough to be able to do that. But I've had those moments of self-doubt, and I've even had those moments of self-doubt recently. I had an opportunity to go move to another state, start a brand new career, try to make what I would consider stable money, I guess, because what I do, writing, whatever, it's not stable month to month. There are months where I have giant amounts of money come in, and there are months where I have a little bit amount of money come in. It's feast or famine. And that's just part of the business. That's just part of life. There is no steady income in stand-up and comedy and any of that stuff. I don't have a manager, so I'm not getting, I'm not working on a TV show every week. I'm not, I don't have a feature film that's coming out every year or 2 years or whatever that I'm getting paid. Well, I don't have any of that stuff. And I haven't sought any of those things. But it's one of those things where I realized as I was thinking about transitioning to this new state and possibly to a new job, like a stable career, and use my degrees and all the things that I've worked for, I started thinking, man, how much am I going to have to give up to do this? Like, I'm going to have to give up stand-up. I'm probably going to have to give up writing. I'm probably going to have to give up, touring, all those things like that I do. And it really hit me hard. Like, it was one of those moments where I was like, I don't know what to do. And it really was a lot of thought. My wife and I really sat down and had to think about what we would do. And when we laid out the pros and cons, and when we laid out what everything that would affect in our lives, I was really hesitant because I was like, it's a big change. Now, we guaranteed 6 figures every year. That's great. But at what cost? What's the cost for that? I'm giving up my stand-up. I'm going to give up. I would have to give up writing. There's no way. I mean, with the career and everything it was. And I would have to give up touring unless I wanted to go during the summertime, which would be the only time that I could go and that my wife could go or we could go do stuff. So it was like, I don't know. And also, it was just a big rush. It would have been, moving in 2.5 weeks and it was just nothing was falling in place the way it's supposed to. That's very kind of unnerving and stuff. So for me, it was like, okay, well, we're not gonna go, and part of me wanted to go. Really, a big part of me wanted to go and say, I've done this for almost 7 years. It's been fun. It's been great. I've made money. I'm technically a professional comedian. I'm technically a professional comedy writer. I've had stuff made. I mean, I've done more and lived more of my dream than most people ever do or get to hope to do. Cool. I can move on to another phase of my life. There was a time where I did MMA and I wanted to be an MMA fighter. And I worked with MMA fighters. I did walkouts at MMA things with fighters. Like, I lived the dream that nobody else got to live. I've worked on TV sets. I've worked on TV shows. You know, I've been on TV. Like, there's so many things that have happened for me that I was like, oh, I could just, this is, I'm like, I've got to live several lifetimes worth of stuff in a short amount of time. Fantastic. We can move on. We can go on to something else. Now I can work on being a dad-ish type person. But I realized I am who I am because of all those life experiences. And it makes it more fun when I have more life experiences to pick from. But if I stop now, I won't have those life experiences to move forward with. I still want to do some of what I was gonna do. I still am hoping to do it like on online. I would love to be able to. It was a teaching gig. It really was to teach, and it was to work in the field that I want to, or always wanted to. I always want to be a teacher. History, mainly history, but also some other things as well. And I have a lot of other skills, but it was just like it didn't fall in place how we wanted, and it just didn't work how we wanted. And it was just too compressed of a timeline that we couldn't make it work. That's not to say that I would or wouldn't do it, but I really had to think about my 7 year journey in comedy. I mean, my first big comedy show, I did half an hour for my 35th birthday. Preacher Lawson was the headliner for that show. Preacher Lawson, right now he's on America. He was on America's Got Talent. He's got his own special. He's traveling around the country. He's headlining everywhere. We were friends. We worked out at the same club together. We hung out together. Like, I mean, it's amazing to see. Also, he has about 10 years on me of doing stand up, by the way. So it's not like I mean, he's amazing. Don't get me wrong. But like, it's not like he was like, we started at the same time. He's way ahead of me and he had a ton more. But I learned a lot from him as well. Everyone that I work with, I learned from. James B. Conley gave me great advice starting out. It's how I got into other writing things. You know, my one of my biggest goals of my life, and I'm hoping to do it one day, is to work for a comic book company and write comic books as part of my job too. I love comic books. I would love to do that. I love superheroes. I grew up on that stuff. I've always wanted to work for Image. I've always wanted to work for Marvel. I would gladly work for DC as long as they let me write the Green Lantern series. But other than that, I'm not really keen on that. Like, I like Batman, but there's better Batman writers than I could do, right? You know what I'm saying? But Green Lantern, I feel like there's so much out there in the world, so many universes and worlds and all that to explore that you could do so much with that. And then for Marvel, honestly, I'd want to move into like the Punisher, or maybe if they brought back the Starjammers, I'd be down to do right for the Starjammers because those are my favorites back in the day. And then Image, whatever. I mean, honestly, to work with Todd McFarlane or any of those guys would be amazing. So, or create my own comic book. And I have had that goal. I've worked on it. I've also wanted to write for 2000 AD. So, those are future goals that I'm working on. I have scripts and screenplays that I'm working on that I'm trying to get, a manager to look at and move forward on those things. I think what happened this year for me and what happened recently, right before this birthday, was me rethinking myself and refocusing myself really more than anything. Where I go, okay, I've done these things, but I haven't done X, Y, and Z, right? I haven't gotten a manager. I haven't even pursued a manager. That hasn't even been something that's on my mind. I just go, yeah, it'll happen. Yeah, it'll happen. Yeah. But it doesn't just happen, right? I mean, yes, sometimes it will, but I haven't submitted for contests. I haven't done anything to move my writing stuff forward. I've just been working for other people, writing other projects, which is fine, getting paid, make a living, and not have to stress about anything else, right? I know plenty of my friends and comedians who have 40-hour a week day jobs and do stand up. I do podcasting, make money from that. I do writing, make money from that. I do stand up, make money from that. And I do teaching, make money from that. That is it. That's what I do. I mean, that's my blog, I guess, also makes money. There's like a lot of things that I have multiple pieces. But thanks to people like Sam Bear, I've wanted to move into consulting. Sam Bear is amazing. I don't do that yet. So if you need a comedy coach or you want someone to help you, Sam Bear, that's the person, right? Um, Jerry Corley, same thing. Depending on where you're at, if you're NorCal, MidCal, Central Cal, Sam Bear. If you're in LA, Burbank, and you don't want to travel there, Jerry Corley's amazing. Or vice versa. If you want to do remote stuff, Sam Bear. I don't know if Jerry does that anymore. I know he did for a while, so you could reach out to him. But those would be my two people. If I was going to say, hey, if someone asked me, hey James, who should I go to teach me comedy? I would say Sam Bear or Jerry Corley. One of those two people for me would be the best bet. The next one would be Robert G. Lee, but I think he's backed up right now too. So I don't know. So there you go. There's three people that you can go talk to, and that have also affected and changed my comedy career in many ways. Sam Bear, most recently, really made me rethink and restructure how I perceived things, and I'm grateful to Sam Bear for that. So thank you, Sam, if you're listening to this. I don't know if you are, but that's where I'm at. I really want to do this to recap 7 years of stand up. I mean, working with all kinds of comedians: Dwayne Perkins, Jenna Kim Jones, James P. Conley, Robert G. Lee, Don Friesen, Preacher Lawson, um, Matthew Broussard. I mean, it's just so many people. I've literally gotten so lucky. Chris Cope, so many people to work with, so many people. I can't even do names. There's so many people that I've got to share the stage with. You know, so many people that have influenced me. I mean, I got two pep talks in my life from Tom Papa, right? I mean, there's what could you possibly ask for more in your life than those moments of, you know, having that. I'm grateful for my comedy career, and this was a moment for me to reevaluate that and be grateful for those moments. So, if you're stuck somewhere, if you're thinking about like, I don't know if I should move forward, do the pros and cons. The pros and cons list is definitely helpful, but also think about what will it affect for you long term. If you say you were in my position, you're about to get an offer for a job that will set your family up for close to six figures. Um, but you know, what would you do? And you have to give up all your other stuff. You have to give up stand up. You're gonna have to probably give up writing. You're gonna have to give up maybe not your blog and maybe not the podcast. But I don't know. I don't know if I would have to give up the podcast or not either. I mean, we're close to 300 episodes here, and I don't know. So if you had to do all those things, would you do it? Right? This is the Eminem moment. You got to lose yourself in the moment. You know, would you do it? Are you gonna do it? Or are you gonna, you know, throw up mom's spaghetti? Like what's going to happen to you, right? So for me, it was a good reminder. And then I did stand up this weekend right before my birthday. Great show, JR's Comedy Club at the Junkyard in Simi Valley. Thank you, Paul Moongene, for that as well. See, that's what I'm saying. My friends, I have some of the best comedy friends in the world. I really do. I am so grateful for every single one of them. If I try to tell them all the time how much I appreciate them, but I don't think anyone really knows. Darren Carter for mentoring me, Jerry Corley, Robert G. Lee for mentoring me, James P. Conley, David Studebaker for being there to bust my chops whenever, Paul Moongene for being there to bust my chops, Luke for being there to bust my chops. Uh, you know, so many people have stepped up and helped me out, right? And they believe in me, right? These are people that believe in me, that have given me advice and helped me out and seen something even in the moments where I didn't see something in myself. And for me, that tells me that was the other thing is, if I quit now, how many people have I let down, right? Not only have I let down myself, how many of my friends, how many of the people that have spent time and energy coaching and teaching and helping and guiding me and giving me advice and giving me feedback and, you know, all that stuff, I let all those people down. I don't want to do that. That's not who I am. I don't want to let anyone down. So it was good. It was a big reminder to be thankful and grateful for the people that I have. And I don't want to take this. I don't want this podcast to take this long. I'm sorry that I went this long. I just want to do something short, something quick and easy, because for me, this has been one of the best 7 years of my life. Right? I've been married to my wife for a long time. I love her. She's obviously the biggest thing in my life, and she's obviously been my biggest champion. And I'm grateful for her every day, and she pushes me harder. And I also would have let her down. So as much work and investment and time and weekends and days and stuff she's given up for me to do this, I mean, it's amazing, you know, what happens when people support you. So, and I also am grateful to everyone who listens to this podcast. That you don't understand. When you listen, it allows me to take time to meet new people, to bring you more information, to make more things, to create all this other content. I have more content coming. because of you guys, I'm going to create more content on the comedypreneur.com. There's more stuff coming. I'm growing. I'm going to be building an email list. I've never done that before. Everyone said, do it, do it, do it, do it. I put it off. I'm going to be building an email list. Probably going to be doing a Substack at some point so that we have that communication, that line's open. We can do more things. I can help grow other people's careers too, because that's the truth is all these people that have given me their time and energy, I want to be able to give that back to some other people because I see what it does when someone helps you out, when someone gives you that little bit piece of advice, that little, fix tweak of a joke, that little extra punchline or tag, it changes things for you and it changes the trajectory of your career. My trajectory of my career has been changed so many times. I literally know of comedians that are still doing open mics. They've been doing stand up for 7-10 years, still doing open mics. They're not getting paid to do shows. That doesn't make sense to me, right? I get that this is a hobby for some people, but for me, it was never a hobby. It was, I'm gonna see if I like it, and if I do, I'm gonna keep doing it until either A, someone I suck at it and I know that I should quit, or B, something bigger comes from it, and something bigger keeps always coming from it. Something always happens. There's always something moving forward. I'm never failing in this moment. So I'm grateful every single day for every single person who helps me, who has helped me, and who listens to this podcast, who subscribes into YouTube, who subscribes to the podcast, who leaves reviews, who sends me emails, who sends me messages on YouTube, who sends me messages on Instagram, all that stuff. I listen, I pay attention because I care. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who supported me, listeners, friends, other comedians, my family. 7 years of this. I am so grateful to be able to even live part of this dream because I've been able to do things that most people never get to do. And I'm grateful for that every single day. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. And if you have a dream, if you're struggling, if you're frustrated, if you're scared, shoot me a message, right? Shoot me a message at thequeencomedypodcast.com. I will respond to you. I really will. I read all that stuff. I respond. Shoot me a message on Instagram, write a comment on YouTube, whatever it is. I will respond to you. I promise. I hope that what I do every week inspires you guys. I hope that whatever I say here, who all the people that I have on, inspire you, educate you, help you keep moving forward because it's been invaluable to me. It's been grateful to me. And I'm grateful for every single one of you. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, please subscribe. If you're listening, please go leave a review and please make sure that you're subscribed on YouTube. I really need to get to 1,000. That's my goal this year is to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Tell everybody about the show, please. Or consider it a birthday present for me. Share it with 10 people. If you're listening, share this with not even 10 people. Share with 3 people and ask those 3 people to share with 3 more people. Or even one person share it with another person. Just share it. Let's try to get to 1,000. Please. There's so many things I need to do that I want to do. And I just need to keep snowballing forward so I can help because you guys don't understand all the things that are inside that I want to get out. I want to open comedy clubs so I can give new comedians chances, pay comedians, help them out. I want to be able to teach and help other comedians. I want to help the next generation coming up because I've been so blessed that I want to share that with everyone else. So please share, please like, please subscribe, please leave reviews, and I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for sharing this 7-year journey with me. I'm gonna keep going. There's more years here. I'm not giving up. I'm grateful for everyone. So thank you so much. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.